Willow opened her mouth to speak and realized the truth scared her more than silence ever had. The confession didn't happen in a courtroom or under blinding hospital lights. It happened quietly, in the soft pause between heartbeats, when Willow finally stopped pretending she was okay. Port Charles had a way of forcing truths to the surface, and this one had been simmering for far too long. Willow stood near the chapel doors at General Hospital, fingers curled tightly around each other as if she might drift apart if she let go. The air smelled faintly of candles and antiseptic, comfort and reality mixed together. She had come here looking for peace, but what she found instead was clarity. And clarity, she was learning, could be brutal. For months, Willow had worn strength like armor. She smiled when expected. She reassured everyone else. She told herself she'd made the right choices because they'd been necessary, because survival sometimes demanded sacrifice. But pride? That was something else entirely. And tonight, she couldn't claim it. The footsteps behind her were familiar. She didn't turn right away. She didn't need to. Some people announced themselves without words. "I was hoping I'd find you here," the voice said gently. Willow exhaled, slow and shaky. "I didn't know where else to go." They sat together in silence for a moment, the kind that didn't rush to be filled. Outside, the city hummed, cars passing, lives moving forward, blissfully unaware of the emotional reckoning unfolding inside hospital walls. "I keep telling myself I did what I had to do, and maybe that's true, but that doesn't mean I feel good about it." Her voice didn't crack. That almost made it worse. She turned then, eyes glossy but determined. "I don't necessarily feel proud." The words hung there, raw and unfiltered. In Port Charles, confessions were often dramatic. Tears, raised voices, shattered glasses. This one was different. It was quieter, heavier, the kind of honesty that didn't ask for forgiveness, only understanding. Willow admitted what she'd been avoiding, that she'd crossed lines she once swore she never would, that fear had guided her more than faith, that love, when tangled with desperation, could lead you somewhere unrecognizable. She hadn't become a villain, but she wasn't the heroine she used to see in the mirror either. "I thought if I kept moving I wouldn't have to feel it, but it catches up. It always does." Elsewhere in the hospital, her name was already echoing through whispered conversations. People sensed a shift. They always did. When someone like Willow, kind, steady, reliable Willow, started questioning herself, it sent ripples through the town. The irony wasn't lost on her. She'd spent so long being strong for others that she'd forgotten how to be honest with herself. "I'm tired," she confessed softly. "Not just physically. I'm tired of justifying everything." That was the moment things changed. Because Willow wasn't asking to be absolved. She wasn't rewriting the past. She was owning it, every messy, complicated piece. And in Port Charles, accountability was rare enough to be powerful. By the next morning, the weight of her confession began to settle into her world. Conversations felt different. Looks lingered longer. Some people softened toward her. Others pulled back, unsure how to reconcile the woman they admired with the choices she now acknowledged. Willow noticed all of it. She also noticed something else, the strange relief that came with honesty. The knot in her chest loosened just a little. She slept without replaying every decision in her head. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to feel conflicted without rushing to resolve it. Not proud, but not hiding anymore. Later that day, she stood by a hospital window, sunlight warming her face. She thought about the idea of redemption, not as a grand gesture, but as a series of small, intentional steps. Listening more, reacting less, choosing courage over fear when it mattered most. She knew not everyone would understand her confession. Some would judge, some already had. But Willow also knew that pretending perfection had nearly broken her, and she refused to let that happen again. In Port Charles, reputations were fragile, love was complicated, and the past never stayed quiet for long. But Willow's confession marked a turning point, not just for her, but for everyone watching. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can say isn't, "I was right." Sometimes it's simply, "I'm not proud, but I'm telling the truth." And in a town built on secrets, that kind of honesty just might change everything.